Suricate Racing presents Show Us Your Tips midweek preview time off the back of a wet weekend and a subsequent Newcastle meeting where a few things changed, but the best horses probably won the best races, I'd say, by and large. Much to take out of Newcastle, Beaver?
Oh, look, didn't change too much. Newcastle certainly seemed to favour horses coming down the middle of the track and running on. It certainly wasn't favouring anything up on the lead. Everything ran on and came from off the pace there. US was outstanding. Probably stamped itself as a Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup contender. Certainly, if they choose to go that way.
Yeah, the thing is,
Fangirl was go mate.
The thing is that race made me realise is that there's just not many good horses around. Is a problem.
No, there's not.
You know, you got to think it over, beating up them all in the lead up, and then she did a great job and was very impressive. And you know, I'm going to be more than happy to back her in the Sydney Cup and probably in a Caulfield Cup. But to suggest like you can't just keep having a Winx come along every 2 years. So
no, that's
suggests
right.
to me that the rest of the good colts go to stud, and then the fillies are all average. So and you don't really get the tough old geldings anymore. Look at our sprinters as well. So that was, I think, what it made me realise. You never see half of those fillies in the vinery ever again by the time they turn 4. So, they just race around against average horses.
Yeah, I think that's right. A lot of those horses, when you look at the big race, Duas did look to have a mortgage on it. Think it over. Well, there's a question mark over 2,400, and then Spanish Mission just doesn't have that acceleration that a horse like Duas has. And
but I haven't seen any sport reports. Was there an issue? It was tailed out.
I haven't had a look myself either, mate. But it was good. Fangirl bounced back to form and was very tough. Was a nice win.
I thought Newcastle suited
the other race.
Once they moved to Newcastle on the dry track, Fangirl became a lot. I think neither of us really mentioned it apart from in the quaddie, but I was a little bit keener once he got to Newcastle.
Yes, but that was there's a lot of horses that went across the line there together. It was a good race, and Mr. Mozart and our Playgirl fought it out, which was relatively predictable. Taxu got just beaten in the first.
Yeah, he just got nabbed, unfortunately. But it was what it was. I don't know what really it means for this week. Apart from obviously Duas heading, I assume, to a Sydney Cup now. It's a $2 million race, but what it means for Doncaster, which we'll discuss on Thursday night, not much, I would suggest.
No, not a lot out of that.
Should we get on to any other takeaways from the weekend? Mornington played pretty well.
Mornington.
We didn't really mention Mornington, but the couple we did all won.
Yes, we had a fairly reasonable day there, I think. All things being equal.
Yeah, Rousseau and
I think I got the quaddie, didn't I? I tipped the quaddie.
That was Moonee Valley.
Oh, that was Moonee Valley on a Friday night. That's right.
It was only a week ago.
Long time ago, forget that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. And you mentioned a couple at Mornington that all got home. So all in all, okay. I think it was okay. We're looking forward to getting into better stuff this week with the Doncaster, the TJ, and day one of the championships coming up. So that should be very interesting to get into tomorrow. But we've got midweek racing. We've waffled a bit now. We'll get into our midweek racing stuff where we've done Sandown today. I've sort of half got the feeling Canterbury's going to be abandoned. So we'll put up any tips. We'll put our best bets if it does go ahead tomorrow on our social media, on Facebook and Twitter. Show us your tips. But until then, let's get into Sandown. We're back on the hillside again just for something different. And the rail goes out 10 metres, good track, and an average card. Kick off with the 2-year-olds over 1,300 metres. Average card, you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an average card, but I think you can find a few winners there. We tend to sometimes strike it lucky when we go average card.
And how are we starting with the 2-year-olds?
Yeah, look, I've gone for the tried and true and tested. One start, one win in Resnamia. I thought it was pretty impressive on debut. It's from a good yard and sat handy and came away for a win. It should probably potentially lead this, and might be hard to run down. It was well fancied first start, so no reason that can't be fancied again here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was a nice enough win sitting outside lead at Pakenham. It did beat Jamara in a trial in the lead up to that, the key rival here. And I think Gate 1 sets up nicely to just ride the rail as can happen at Sandown early and be very hard to beat. Amenable has trialled well a couple of times and might be a watch from the price yard, but yeah, not telling you the market isn't there. Race 2 is the first of our 64s over 1,400 metres. Tricky race, open market. I ended up defaulting to the Governor Landy off the win last time. Beat most of these pretty convincingly. Does lose Damien Lane, but it is an apprentice race. And at the each way, happy to play with it in no real confidence here when it's $6 a field. Did you have any better thought than this?
It's only first and second, right? No third dividend.
Yeah, sorry, it is too.
Yeah, makes it a bit tricky there. Look, any of the 7 can win. There's no doubt about it. I just settled on Fields of Ivy coming across from the Adelaide stable for McAvoy. That's always a good pointer. Gets a couple of, they all get a claim here, so all gives them a little bit lighter. So no benefits with any of the weight pool. But I thought it's third up, so it sets up okay for it here. It's 1,400, can run a good race.
Race 3 is the back over 1,400 with another 64, where one of my better bets on the card comes up here. Suricate was wide and finished on the heels of Mac and Cheese last time in Adelaide. We saw Mac and Cheese come out and be pretty impressive in a listed race on the weekend. And I think this, it's obviously only 64 grade. This back here sets up lovely for it, I thought. Does get Jamie Carr as well.
Yeah, I was the same. Mac and Cheese, geez, that was a good win on the weekend. That's an impressive horse, and it's going places. It'll win some good races. So based on that, I think you're probably right. I think this is about the best bet on the card.
Yeah,
Race 3, number 5.
The 4th is a benchmark 70 over the mile, where I think there's 2 chances here. Firstly, My Whisper has been good both starts. His prep goes up in grade, but down in weight a little. Jamie Carr sticks, and it looks like the mile will be fine for it. Lightly raced, and as a market's just hard to beat. And I thought the main danger was White Hibiscus. Now she's broken back through, back at a track where she's probably run her best races. Damien Oliver, Gate 1, can probably sit a little bit closer, I think. And I think that was really the story of the race. Any thoughts?
Yeah, a bit scared here, mate, because I found exactly the same. I thought My Whisper was the hardest to beat, and its main danger was probably going to be White Hibiscus. But I just had My Whisper on top. I think it's just a little bit classier, and the service of Carr Snowden, I think it'll be good enough to win.
Excellent. Lunatic Friend can probably run it as third. The 5th is the mile, again, 64, a couple of lightly raced things here. How do you split these two at the top of the market?
Yeah, I went for the third one in the market, actually. I went for Hammer On from the Wallace stable.
Oh, yeah, true.
I thought it was very good first up. Really liked the way it just set off the pace. It's probably going to improve on that. Was well found in the market. Carries the same weight. And I just like the way it hit the line. I think it'll probably run really well and suited at sticking at the 1,600 for its second race start. So Hammer On for me.
I've got a feeling a dry track will suit it better too. I don't think it necessarily ploughed through the wet there.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It's another tick. I thought I just went the other way, but I thought it was one of the only 2 chances with Detonator Jack, who was wide, impressive, and we've seen it on the dry. I was happy to take on your fet. I didn't even realize it was shorter than Hammer On there, but yeah, I was happy to go Detonator Jack from Hammer On. I think they're the two key hopes, and yeah, you summed up its chances quite well as well. The 2,400 meter staying contest on the card. highlight of my Wednesday every week. Who's on top for you?
Yeah, look, I've gone for a bit of value here. I've gone for the Waterhouse, not a bad buy. It's only had a small number of starts, was a bit, first two preparations, only had the one start and was put out. Gets the blinkers on, trialled well at Chuka, beat by 3 lengths Trizete, and I think Trizete finished 4th in the last on Saturday. And then prior to that, had some decent form, won a nice maiden at Newcastle, and then went to Gosford and wasn't overly impressive. I like the fact that they've taken it from Sydney down to Melbourne. It's trialled down there and trialled really well. And this is not a tough affair. So at the double figure odds, I'm going not a bad buy.
Yeah, went looking for it. I think back on dry will suit, and there's a tail in this race. I've penned all the Warrnambool stuff, so by default, I was left with the favourite on top. Hit the line well enough for this race 2 weeks back. Miletus, I speak of, and will be hard to beat here. But the second, I sort of had a similar logic with the Waterhouse yard there. Newidon suggests he doesn't tend to hang around, so I think the foot's going to be on the pedal pretty early.
And that's what I like too.
In a race like this, it might have him off the bit a long way out. So definitely worth an each way play. Second last is the 1,000 metre, 64 here. We saw sparring come here and just missed last time. Are you going with that, or are you looking elsewhere?
I'm looking elsewhere. I've landed on direct. I know it's doesn't win out of turn, but it's been around the money in some really good races. So if you go back 5 starts ago, won really nicely at Cranbourne by a couple of lengths, then come out and finish close behind General Bow and Profiteer, went for a spell and then resumed at $1.40 and got sat on the pace and then got run down there at Moonee Valley. And then similarly, last start just got pipped with 62.5. So it gets a couple of kilo claim here for Cartwright. I think it can go forward, and I think it'd be hard to beat here over the 1,000.
Nice. I ended up with sparring on top. I think it was a pretty good run, caught wide last time, and now drawn inside. Hopefully, get some more favours here. I would look for a bit of value as well in Star Welts. Just before it went out, was led up Espiona in a group race. Obviously, there's no Espiona here. It was over a little bit further, but before that, ran okay at some shorter trips. Fresh here, I think fresh here down in weight and stable going quite well. I think might be a value play for your exotics as well. So that was the thinking there. The 1,000 metre land, some funny stuff can happen sometimes. And we finished the day with the highest graded race on the day, 800 metres, benchmark 78. How are you taking us home?
Yeah, I think it is the best race on the day too, and probably the most open and competitive race here. So plenty of chances. I've settled on Quality Time. Craig Williams, Chris Waller. Great Britain horse, had really good form over there. Won 2 out of 3 of its last 3 starts over there. And then came here and first up at Sandown over the 1,400, the unsuitable. Finished off nicely, be about 5 lengths behind the Garden. Wasn't expected to win, but sat back and just got home nicely. I think the step out of up of 400 metres is right up its alley. It's going to be heaps fitter. Gets a good run here and super hard to beat, but plenty of other chances.
Yeah, I probably was hoping for a bit more of a flashing light, but with Waller, especially when they're not expected to win, they don't tend to, surprise either. So it will run well, I think. I've got tons. 2 odds I like here. Majorati off a win now down south. Might control this and give you a sight around $12. And Tarn's Prince resumed with a win in the same grade. Gets a nice run, gate 5, and he's $13 off that win. And I thought that was quite a good win, actually. So was with the higher ranked horses and had the big question mark on Quality Time, but he covered that off. A few of these are up in grade and obviously can be on the way through, but happy with value in the last there. for progretracing.com.au. Obviously, check them out for their free tips, extensive guides, and plenty of news at the moment. Your best in value at Sandown?
My best bet comes up in what was race
4?
3, number 5, Surrogate. And my value bet comes up in the last, which is race 8, number 6, Quality Time.
Very good. I'm with you. Both races. Suricate will run well in the blue colours in race 3, and I'm going to make Tarn's Prince my value in the last, around $13. Have you got anything up north? How's the weather up there? I haven't even looked.
No, I think it's no good, mate. I didn't do anything up there because I think it's already off, isn't it?
You're probably right. Doomben and Warwick Farmers are banned.
Yeah, it's already off.
And I'm not holding my breath for Canterbury. Canterbury was quite when I looked as well. So we'll post our best. We'll post a couple of bets once scratchings and final decisions made at Canterbury in the morning. But until then, thanks for joining us, guys. Good punting at Sandown tomorrow, and very excited to be looking towards day 1 of the championships on Thursday night. Good luck, Beaver. Catch you soon.
Thanks, mate. Perfect.